can start a new one from here. Easy guys, what is up? Welcome back with Wolfeyes. A big hello out to everybody. Hope you're doing absolutely wonderfully. Got a little bit of information that I just wanted to bring towards the community quickly. We was having a little debate, a little talk about with ideas and everything a bit earlier on. So a big shout out to the guys who we was having a little talk with. We have debunked something that we was talking about, but obviously I'll explain that now. So the people who was in the chat with me a little while ago was Lengthy Tick 96, British Titan, sorry, and Slim Shady 318. Slim spelt with a 1. So big shout out to those guys for being in the chat at the time and helping me come to this conclusion of searching where I did and coming with what I have. Now we were throwing around the idea of Kronos. I mean, they did say to me that the Revelation sheet music up here contained the numbers 916 in the corner of the page, but obviously we can come up to this and we can clearly see that it's not 916 at all, it's and 88, so we don't believe that's anything to do with it, guys. I'm sorry to announce to those guys earlier, but at the same time of looking through this information, we have found some very interesting points. Now we go to the Book of Revelation. It is on Google, you can search it up. It's a Bible basically. A lot of Christians will know exactly what I'm on about now. There might be a few of you that's a little bit like, well, I've never read the Bible, so I don't know exactly what you're on about. The Book of Revelation, I didn't read everything. Well, I've skimmed through most of the chapters, and there wasn't a lot really that started sticking out at first. And then I started getting further into the chapters, which was funny enough near the 916 mark, which was the 916 mark, sorry. And we had come to our attention on chapter 9 verse 16 of the Book of Revelations. Now, in addition to the demons who have roamed the earth throughout history, spiritual forces of wickedness and in the heavenly place most recently cast to earth, and the numerous demons recently released from the abyss at the sounding of the fifth trumpet, comes a new demonic army that is 200 million strong. Now, I'm not sure, I mean, I know a lot of us have been really high on the rounds of zombies, but I'm really not sure one person has killed 200 million zombies in their own or with a group of 4 at the minute. I'm really sure at the minute. I mean, if you have, then obviously leave a comment and I'll give you a shout out in the next video. Obviously, that's not a problem. But I really doubt 200 million has been killed. I mean, that's a big number, and that would explain the hordes of zombies that we've got. It carries on to say, some suggest that the 200 million will come from China, but obviously we know that they're not. They're presumed to be from China because China's the biggest place on Earth and would be the only sort of continent that could populate that size of an army as such. But obviously we know for a certain fact it would not be a human army. It says it would not be a human army due to the inability to equip, feed, transport, or bring about that much water for supplying. Taking this into consideration, strongly suggests this will be a supernatural army of the undead. Basically meaning an army of the undead. It goes on with the verse. The chapter 9 verse 16 army goes out during the 6th trumpet, which occurs near the middle of the tribulation. Now the tribulation is the judgment and mercy. Basically, it's the judgment day where for a 7-year period God basically releases his wrath upon the earth. Not a lot of nice things happen, all to do with the 10 plagues and everything else, or the hordes of zombies that we've got with the 200 million strong. So okay, yeah, fair enough. That was a little bit of a sort of gist to the world of zombies. So okay, let's dive a little bit deeper then. What happens on chapter 16 verse 12? And we went forward to chapter 16 verse 12, and it reads as follows. Basically, I got a description of chapter 16 down for you. It obviously, as I said, it is out there on Google. Guys, go check this out. This is I mean, it's so coincidental that it just sounds too much to be alike as such. It reads as follows. Revelation chapter 16 describes the final 7 vials of the wrath of God, representing the climax of God's punishments on sinners during the tribulation period. No repentance is invited or shown. The judgments are somewhat parallel to both the 10 plagues of Egypt and to the trumpets of chapters 8 and 9. The chapters of 8 and 9 are basically the got loads of stuff down here for it. I mean, it goes on saying about the 7 different vials and where they poured the vials in it. Obviously, go and have a look. I didn't get all of them down, only the ones that really represented anything as such. So we had a little look around, and the 4th one comes out with the 4th poured his blood vial upon the sun and was given the power of fire to scorch the land, which would be a reference to fire in Revelations. And not only recently we've had a rune of creation that is fire, so big sort of pointer to that. The 5th angel poured his vial into the sea. Basically, the vials are blood. These are a reference to angels with blood vials, which I think are related to our Revelations characters with blood vials, guys. I really think this is key here. I think this has a big link. It just seems to be too coincidental to be not related as such. And we know that Jason Blundell himself is a complete sucker for mythical castles and Greek mythology and everything. So we know he's used to this. So it's, I mean, it carries on saying that the 6th poured his vial into the river to dry it up. The river Anthrax, that is. That's the river that keeps a constant loop that runs from east to west, as they said. The 6th poured his vial into the river to dry it up and make way for the kings of the east, which would be a reference as such to say that a vial was, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying go try and use these, don't get me wrong at all, I'm not turning around and saying let's try and use these vials for something. I mean, maybe that's what we've got to do. I don't think it is. If anything, I think we've got to maybe find, if this is something we've got to find, then maybe it is sort of maybe an extra blood vial as such. I mean, I don't know exactly how many blood vials we've got on us so far, but it talks about 7 in the book of Revelations in total, so that'd be quite nice to find out at the same time. But it's sort of by the 6th pouring his vial into the river of Anthrax, it dries it up and makes way for the kings of the east and the final battle with God Almighty, which is where we find our characters at the minute, fighting what we believe to be the gods of, obviously God and Satan, with Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man. So it all seems related. And the 7th one, funny enough, reads, when the 7th angel pours his vial into the air, a voice will be heard from the temple of God before the throne, conveying a message. It is done. It is a most welcoming message because it signifies the consummation of the tribulation / the conclusion of the day of God's wrath upon the ungodly. Now, this could be a reference to obviously how we use these blood vials to change our fates as such. So yeah, don't get me wrong guys, I'm not turning around and going, oh, we should be using our vials here, we should be using our vials there. I'm just trying to let everybody know that I think this story is actually related more than we actually know, but we've not really delved that far deep into it. I mean, I may be just diving really deep into it, but I actually really think that this Revelation game has an inkling side with the Book of Revelation. As I said, it's on Google, guys. Go check it out. As I said, the first few things don't really make a lot of sense, and then you get to chapter 9 and it starts talking about a horde of 200 million strong. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see a zombies reference to that with 200 million. I can see the zombies. To this. So go check out chapters 9 and 16 in the Book of Revelations, and I think this really might have something to do with it, guys. I mean, this might help a few big YouTubers out there to maybe put together pieces out of this Easter egg. Maybe there's something in there that might hint and help us towards solving an Easter egg that we haven't found, maybe, guys. I'm quite strong feeling on this. I've had a little talk to a few people and they think they think exactly the same thing as me, and to get it out there straight away for you guys to know, so you guys can go check it out and see for yourselves, guys. We will be back tomorrow with a broadcast, but until tomorrow, guys, hope this helps you. It's opened my eyes quite a lot, so go have a look, guys. Go have a look, because there might be some link in this. There might be some link in this story, and there might be some help inside the actual story itself that might help us solve an Easter egg maybe that hasn't been solved already. I'm not saying there will be, but I'm saying there's a good chance, and there's a good reason to look in this Book of Revelations, guys. Until tomorrow, my friends, I have been Wolf. Hope you are absolutely wonderful. Hope you have an absolute wonderful night, guys. Good night, my friends.